And welcome to a very special Tuesday night with the League of Anarchy Fantasy Football Podcast. One of, if not the best show on Sports Crew Radio Network. Sports Crew Radio Network. Follow them on Twitter, iTunes, you know all that crap. Tonight, this is episode 13, which means we're in the playoffs. And this is our Pick'em show. And that's what makes our league so good. This is a little twist. I've never been in another league that does it this way, but our top seeds get to pick who they play against. So, it's kind of cool because you can pick someone, then they beat you. It's double egg on your face. You're out of the playoffs, and that person gets to rag on you that you picked them. And, they're going to give you some shit. So welcome tonight. And we're on a 15-minute clock. B-Rod or Brody, you are our number one seed. You won the regular season with a 10-3 record. You will be the first one to pick. I'll then go through the rest of the names of the people that you will be able to pick from. The number 2 seed, the Funky Bunch, me. Easy kill. Right here. Marky Mark. The number 3 seed, Clint Magel, up there in the center square, is the number 3 seed. I had a 94 record.
He's a killer.
He had a 7-6 record. Teen Crayport or Sweet Tea is our number 4 seed with a 7-6 record.
Should be 8 seed.
I beat all the odds and stayed in the top half.
Yeah, barely.
Beat all the odds.
Brady passed the blunt. Ben, also at 7-6, is our 5 seed. Smashing Dirty Hose coming up from the bottom of the swamp after a lousy start there. Actually, it was a great start because you beat me right out of the bat. That's keeping me from being the number 1 seed, actually. So thanks, Jim. But you went 1-5 and then came all the way back to be 7-6. Congratulations. Then we have Everett or Champ here in the chat. Which yes, a AA. That is Zach. That's who you're going to be playing in the other league. We have someone in our chat room already talking shit about another league.
Oh shit!
And
Zach only made it because Russell Wilson had the flu. Reed is the real playoff champion.
I made it because I know what I'm doing, Brody. How's Alexander Mattinson doing? Not on your bench.
Hey man, Cook's only questionable. All right, he's only questionable.
Doesn't mean you shouldn't have him.
And then we have our number 8 seed and our commissioner who just made it. Did you get the kitchen cleaned up?
Yes, I did.
Oh, woo, we were worried about you. I mean, come on. On Tuesday nights, do McDonald's. Throw that shit away and get on time.
Okay.
How hard is that? But Clay will he's the 8 seed, and he's the 6-7 record. So as far as actual record. So the fact that we had 10-3, 9-4, and then everyone else was 7-6. So the seeding is actually based on points pretty much. And then we had a 5-8, a 5-8, a 5-8. And then there's Kyle at the bottom, 3-10. Still hoping to win 3 in a row so he doesn't have to wear the toe ring. And who has the loudest keyboard in the world?
That'd be Clay.
I think that was Clay.
Yeah, that's
Clay.
Clay.
Jesus.
Hey Clay,
Get a soft touch there, brother.
Is it cold in there? You always got the beanie on, your sweatshirt.
He always looks like the
it's
homeless
true.
guy we let into the.
Oh, never mind. It's hot as fuck in there.
But Clay, we already started the timer. We
That's fine.
We're going on a 15-minute clock. Brody has, and obviously I guess Brody can interrupt any time and spill the guts. But at 15 minutes, Magel will say, time's up. Brody makes his pick. We start the timer again. Then whoever the next seed is will have 15 minutes. Then after that 15 minutes, so that'll get us through our whole hour. Then we'll
That's
have
fine.
15 minutes at the end to, talk smack, talk crap.
Gotcha.
The league did come down to Reed and Zach did come down to really the last quarter of the last game on Monday night, to see who actually made the playoffs. So technically, I just told Zach, it was kind of like a wild card game to already get into the playoffs. because Reed's team actually is still really pretty good. So for him to be out of the playoffs,
He's second for points for, I think, on the year.
yeah,
You're welcome, everybody.
No, I was going to say, I wanted to just take a moment to congratulate Zach. It was very impressive to get in. So I think you did a great job, Zach.
I'm pretty sure Clay had Zach out like 9 weeks ago, right? When did you do that? Now, do we have it? When your projection that you tweeted out like 9 weeks ago?
If you give me a second, I can go get it.
All right, you go get it. I'll put Brody. I'm just curious how close you got, and but this is cool. That what do I do with my picture? Get me back up.
That looks better.
Yeah, let's do no more.
All right, welcome
This is so
to my
much quieter
podcast.
now.
Wait a minute.
Mark never goes below screen either.
Yeah,
does
he
he?
needs to go
No,
below
I
screen
can't.
every now and then.
I don't think I can. I think I hit. Oh, there we go. Oh, I'm back
You
up.
just did it.
Fuck.
It worked perfect.
You need
Yeah,
me to come over there and tell you how to work that, Mark?
No, I did it by mistake to get Clay moved over. But so everyone we have here right now. So the only person we're missing that made the playoffs is Ben. And Ben is do we know if Ben is out there to at least tweet an answer if he is called
I
upon?
texted him. He didn't text back, so he's
Right.
MIA right now.
I actually have Clay's predictions pulled up from our chat.
And Anthony is saying I killed the runner-up spot because in the other league, I'm runner-up in this league. The other league, I was in first place. I was playing AA, and the winner was going to be first place. And the Brady touchdown pass at the end put him ahead of me by 3 points. And then I think he had a few more yards that put him. He ended up beating me by 6 points total. And I dropped from first spot to fourth. Kind of sucked. So I'm the fourth seed in that league. Me and Zach are in 3 different leagues, all money leagues, and all Zach and me made the playoffs in all of them. Zach is only ahead of me in one league where he did win that league. Now I'm trying to think in that league though, who's at the very bottom and didn't make the playoffs.
Oh, Brody and
both
TJ.
Crayports, right? Both Crayports. I forgot.
First
Wait,
off,
wait.
I never checked that team because we didn't put money in. So
Whatever.
I've got more important leagues. Than
Losers.
No one would
loser.
trade. It's a boring league. Fuck that.
Loser's a loser. Whatever. All right.
I
Let's
actually forgot I was in that league.
yeah, whatever. Let's get Clay. Clay, do you have your projections of what you projected
Yes, I do.
for the finish? And this projection, like I said, I don't think 9 weeks. What did you do it like 5 weeks ago? I think around.
I did it at week 9, going into week 9.
All right. Who was your projected playoff spots week 9?
Okay, so I had a 4-way tie for first
Well, that
between it was Mark, TJ, Magel, and Brody, all at
TJ.
9 and 4.
Makes
EJ.
sense. Yeah,
What?
that makes sense. Actually.
His schedule, I didn't think he was going to lose.
But you did get the top 4, right?
Yeah,
that is right. I
I
mean,
didn't get the records correct.
right. Because
Um,
TJ didn't win a game after that point, I don't think, but that's all right.
Yeah,
Well, it's all part of my long-term
Long-term
plan.
strategy.
Yeah,
smart. Okay, so then in 5th place, I had Zach actually getting 5th. Let me look. 6th place. This is my only mess up was I had Helsinger at 6.
Woo, Helsinger, I don't think won a game after that point. His team
Yeah,
went
he
down.
took a little drop.
Well, no, it came down to week 12 because I had him beating Ben. So if he beats Ben,
okay.
that's
Would've-
where it
Would have
where
flip
it happened.
flopped him. Yeah.
So yeah, then 7 was me, Jim was 8, and then Ben was 9 was the first one out. So
Pretty close.
I was wrong on that one matchup. So if I had switched them, I would have been
So
perfect.
even at that, you had Reed even back then not making it, even though Reed
Yep.
had a pretty good team. You had Reed not making
Yep.
it. I feel bad. Reed's team
I feel
is
bad too.
Reed's team.
Yeah, it was just matchup wise.
No, I have no
I do not feel bad.
I do
I
not.
don't either.
Offset.
I am glad a good team got bumped out.
Mega was rooting on me all night that night. It made me feel
Mhm.
good. On a Monday Thanksgiving dinner, by the way. Thank you to the Magel family for feeding me because my family won't.
Yep. Jim, you've known now. I think now you kind of were committed to the playoffs. You didn't have to win this week either. I don't think, and you did.
No.
But it kind of has it been nice from not knowing what was going to go on, losing 5 in a row, then going on a streak. And was your streak 5 in a row? Did I end it at 5? Is that how many you won in a row before I kicked your ass?
Yeah, you did get lucky in my streak, but I started off beating you. Then I lost 5 in a row. And then I won 5 in a row. And then I lost to you. And then I beat Clay.
Right.
So there actually was a chance where if I had lost to Clay in week 12 and then Reed had beaten Zach.
Oh, yeah. There's a shot you'd have got
If
out.
Zach had scored enough points, then I could have potentially not made the playoffs.
Right. And Zach scored some of his most points this last week than he had probably the last month, right? Didn't you get, you had a pretty good, what did you have?
I've got 2 weeks in a row over 150. I mean,
Woo-hoo!
Not an accomplishment.
That's playoff material right there.
That's what my bench gets.
hey, I made it. My bench did really good. If I'd have played the people I should have played, I probably would have been closer to 200. But
All right, Mega, where are we at on the timer? Got to be
We
getting
are at 5:14.
5
Brody,
minutes to
can
go,
you just
Brody.
pick me,
Yep.
please? Because I want you to just show why you're so bad at fantasy and
Oh,
make a
come
huge
on.
mistake.
Well,
Now,
I'm-
we do
I
know-
always do.
Now,
Me and Dally talked about it today.
go
So,
ahead, Magel. This is the first time you've been involved in the pick.
I'm kind of hoping, like Mark and I were talking earlier, last year, Mark looked at strength of schedule and picked the second seed, like I think you would do if you had any balls, Brody, because in the second and third weeks, Mark gets really strong. And if you want to beat him in the Super Bowl, I think now would be the time to knock him off.
I looked at his team.
Brody
He's,
doesn't
he's
have
off
the
the
balls
list.
to do it.
I'm not picking Mark. And
I
that's-
am about
Brody's too
to be
scared.
I'm about to be the first 3-time Super Bowl appearance person.
I've made it 3 times.
Okay,
I've been
well,
there
if
3
times.
Mark's off the list, then pick
I
me.
thought you were 2 for 2. I thought
Nope.
I looked
Two
I
for
looked at
three.
about everybody. I looked at everybody,
Well,
but
that would be the right
considered
thing
a
to
lot
do,
of
Brody,
people
with the first
other
pick.
than
You should check everyone
Mark.
out.
yeah. I Mark, I pretty much away decided not to go for that one. So I'll let him do what he wants to do. So
Oh.
that's a preview.
So
a preview of the pick.
So we,
it's not
you're
Mark.
already you're putting a little tidbit out there that you aren't
tidbit.
picking the number 2 team.
I am
Brody's
not
a
picking the
coward.
number 2
Again,
team.
I did last year with Dally because I knew that was my best shot at beating Dally. Dally had a strong team in the last year, and I knew the best shot at getting him was that first week. And then my team shit the bed the following week anyway, so that technically didn't matter. But it's fun. Hey, you got to go for the. You know what? You got to go for it. Shit. No one does anything the easy way, and is that proud of it. Come on,
Brody does.
take it. That's
I
it.
do.
Yeah, Brody does.
Brody does.
Brody
Magel,
will take the easy route to this probably a Super Bowl, lose it just so he can say
wouldn't you
3-time
pick
appearance.
the easiest route possible?
Well,
Oh,
because,
man.
but like I would say, that's the problem. Do you take the easy? Or see, you just said it different. Do you try to finagle the easiest route, or do you just pick the easiest person to win this week and that's all? Is there any thought process?
There's a couple teams I picked. I respect their teams a lot, but this week they don't have great matchups, and I seriously considered some people. But
Now you don't have to say anything yet. Have you made up your mind in your head? Do you know who you're picking?
You've got
yeah,
1
of course.
minute.
Of course I do. Yeah,
Come
I know
on.
who it is.
All
Say
right.
it's me.
You have-
Come
you
on.
have 1 minute, and
TJ and his sweaty forehead.
Not sweating at all.
all right. Okay. Now, see, unfortunately,
It's a rubber match.
I cannot kick myself out of this screen. So I have to be on here, or if I do, it mutes the whole video. So, Brody, I'm going to ask you one more little tidbit if you can do it without. Is there anyone else of the 4 on the screen right now that you would want to eliminate before you make your pick? Because I want to make sure the person that you may pick is in the room. You've eliminated me. Is there anyone else you can eliminate here? Is it still too close and you're just going to make the call?
The 2 people I thought about the most are in this chat right now.
Okay, so one of the 2 that you're probably going to pick are already here.
Until I
So-
blocked
They're
him
here.
twice last
So,
night.
so Jim is off screen. Oh wait, let's brute Brody down. He's going to pick in one.
We got Brody's pick is up.
Jim, do you feel good right now that the number 1 seed probably isn't going to pick you?
I'm a little disappointed. I mean, I was hoping I'd have an easy matchup in the first round of the playoff.
All right, so you really thought, okay, so you're disappointed. All right, but he's kind of leaning that way. Now there's a shot maybe, but I'm going to bump you back down because he said, I want to make sure the person he picks is in the room so we get a little, information there. So we'll get Brody back up here. Megel's given the go sign.
The 1 minute warning.
Mr. B-Rod, go ahead. You got 1 minute. So I'm going to let you just have the mic. You have the stand, make any comment you want. And then let's go with who you will be facing round 1 next week. Week 14. Go.
I do want to say that I think I could beat everybody in the league right now. And you all do. You're below me. I'm definitely the best in the league for sure. Weakest internet and strongest fantasy lineup. That's for sure.
What you must set your lineup at work because
Yeah, you showed it last week.
Internet, it would never be set right because the time wouldn't do it. All right.
All right.
But time's up. Who are you going to face week 1, week 14?
I have to pick the easiest route, which is my puny brother, TJ. He's his team is dog shit, and it's
Kick
just
his ass, TJ.
And,
Hey.
and the other person, my runner-up, where I seriously thought about it, and the only reason I decided not to was
I think it's
because it went from out to questionable for James Conn, Julio Jones.
Mhm.
So I decided
Clay,
to
wasn't it?
not pick Clay.
I
Decided-
wanted you
never
to
going
pick
to
me
pick
so
Clay
bad.
ever.
I actually thought about it hard.
Just
I
do
thought
it,
about
you
it hard,
coward.
too.
You got to play me
Steve.
eventually.
Pick's already
But
in.
I'm picking-
Clay.
Pick's already in.
He's a
Let's see.
sissy.
Commissioner
Ugh.
Clay, put the pick in. Let's go. All right.
All right.
Now I'm going to go all the way back at just a couple of shows ago.
Your time started, Mark.
Pushing Brody was really pushing that he wanted to beat Zach in the first round. So obviously, did all the trades last week make
He's a
that
pussy.
change? I mean, a lot of teams got better in 1 week because we had a hell of a lot of trades in one day. So
Oh yeah.
did Zach's team get better and now you didn't want to go that route, or what made you go
Well,
up?
his team definitely got better, but that's
you.
not why I didn't go that route. If you look at his matchups, he's literally not playing anybody below like ranked 20th defense. Like all the defenses he's playing are shit. So I did not want to play that matchup.
Fantasy knowledge. Set it up that
Hey.
way.
Fantasy knowledge that I see. So, all right. So, TJ, we're going to give you the floor here for a second. You're the number 4. You win the top. You were number 1 for a week. You were number 2 for quite a few weeks. It seems like you're being disrespected right out of the right from the get-go here. This is a Crayport, which I even said there was a shot at there being a Crayport, Pricer, Mitten, Magel combination here, and we're still on the path maybe for that. But TJ, go ahead. Tell your brother what your thought process is now that he has picked you and taken away the process where you don't get to pick anybody.
Yeah, I was honestly kind of expecting him to pick me. That's why this previous week I benched some of my good players, gave them a rest, let him think that I can't score that many points. And then I'll throw him in the lineup this week. Price score, I'm predicting 192 this week. Brady's going to get 187. Knocked out first round. I think part of that is just going to be because of basketball this last Monday. Me just packing them twice, 2 possessions in a row. I'm already
Everybody
in his
packed
head.
me last night. Everybody packed me.
That's true. A
And
guy
Dale
that was,
packed me.
yeah,
I got a block on him.
a 67-year-old packed him last night. His confidence is way down. It's going to reflect on his team for sure.
Now, Brody, your team has struggled the last few weeks, so you're confident that you're going to be back on board here now.
Yeah, I mean, last week if I would have played James White, it wouldn't have looked like a struggle. But I do agree they have struggled a couple weeks. I have pretty good matchups for the most part, other than John Watson and DeAndre Hopkins. They have I forget who it is. It's a good defense if I remember correctly. But that's one of my worst matchups. But to me, a quarterback usually get the points that he normally can get against any team, and Deshaun Watson's is one of those quarterbacks.
All right, Jim, what do you think of this matchup? Are you excited to see Crayport versus Crayport, or are you bored like I am?
I'm just excited for one of them to be eliminated. I mean, I think that's
Okay,
the
it's one of the family
best
members
thing
being
about
on.
that matchup.
Now, just because I want to know though, do you have a rooting interest now? Is there a rooting interest in this matchup?
Yeah, I mean, I've known Brody for longer, so naturally,
Oh, so obviously you
I'd
wanted
like
to lose, right?
naturally, I'd like to see him lose more.
Right. Well, I've known them both a long time, and I don't like either one of them.
You've always said I was your favorite.
You are. And last night we were balling, man.
Yeah,
Actually, I had both.
almost undefeated.
I was carrying both you Crayports last night. Just like
Oh, whatever.
wait,
Whatever.
I gotta get. Hold on, I get Everett out of here. Mago, I thought you were gonna come balling with us one night. I guess you've been sick, but
I've been sick, man.
I'm
I
gonna try to
haven't
get
been to
Mago
work.
out on the court. Crayports, are you okay with that?
I packed the shit out of him.
Yeah, I can dribble around another old guy.
Mhm.
Another old guy. Mago, I don't think Mago. I don't know. Mago, I think's more of a basketball. I don't think he can be worse than me, right?
He's not going to be worse.
Yeah.
But is he going to have my enthusiasm?
Our 10-year-old brother might be better.
Come on.
I played in the alumni game last year.
I would crush Heath, that little bitch.
44 points. That's what he
No.
had in the
Everett,
alumni.
have you seen
I had
Mago?
two.
Everett,
I scored the first basket of anybody.
Mago,
What?
come on. Zach, have you seen Mago's basketball game lately?
Not lately, but I have heard his story about his state track meet, and if he plays like that, he should be pretty good. But
State track meet. At what point of a track meet are you putting a ball in a hoop?
at no point. It came from the start.
No
He started
point.
off strong. He tried to get an early start. He false started, and it just game over from
Now,
there.
you know what, Mago? I always say, did you go to the state? Yeah, in high school would have been hurdles, right? There was no triathlon, or I know you did that once you hit
Decathlon.
or
Decathlon.
decathlon, right? In high school, they don't do that. So
No.
just hurdles. Did you pole vault at all in high school?
No, I didn't in college.
All right. So you learned then. All right. Who gives a shit what Mago did in college? Now, how did we get on that? Mago, come balling with us, though. Monday nights. You know, we'll.
As soon as I feel better, I will.
All right. We'll let you
Sounds
pick.
like he'd be the fastest on a fast break that we can't do. So that's definitely benefit him.
Yeah.
I've
That,
heard you guys' fast break's basically a fast walk.
well, we don't. There are no fast breaks. Once the
Brisk
ball.
walk.
Right. Brisk.
Yeah, there's barely any fast walking.
All right. Everett, what about you? Do you have somebody in this picture, the Crayport battle, that you're gonna pull for one or the other?
Yeah, easy. TJ doesn't talk nearly as much shit as Brody.
I'm so nice to you, dude.
Yeah,
I tell
when
you
we're
when
not
there's
talking about
food in the
fantasy,
office.
it's just when Brody isn't anything competitive, he likes to really talk it up and
It's
sometimes
entertainment.
take it the extra. I don't doubt it. It's entertaining, but it makes me want you to lose. So
Clay, anybody in this matchup you're rooting for?
I'm just excited because I think between these two, it's the two managers in our league that make the most mistakes with setting their lineup. So I'm excited to see who they end up putting on their bench that outscores someone that starts. So
I think I made one mistake, and that was last week. And it didn't
yeah,
matter.
but playoff times, this is when you really choke it away, Brody. So whoever makes the most mistakes, obviously. So it could be either one of them.
All right, Clay. I unfortunately, I keep looking at you with that hat and shit and that beard growing. Can you just like go? No silver, no gold. Silver and gold. Is it me? Does he not look like the guy from Rudolph? Cornelius, right? Cornelius.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I just
See, I just need to get gray, and it's going to be the same as yours, Mark.
silver and gold. Silver
I like the
and gold.
cricket comment in the
yeah,
comment
he
section.
looks like Rickety Cricket from Always Sunny every week.
Yeah, I told you, I just
alright.
need some lemons.
All right, Mago. Did I ask you? Do you have a rooting interest in this matchup?
Obviously, I hope TJ wins.
Brody is no longer.
No one wants Brody to win.
I
because-
called Brody out to play you, Mark, and he had no balls. So I think TJ.
I'll tell you what
I
it
want
It
to
was
is.
a coward move.
It's because I'm brown. That's what it is.
Because I'm
All right.
proud. Brody's pulling the race card. TJ, you've got a lot of support. What do you think?
Yeah, honestly, I don't like it because everybody was trashing my team before the playoffs, so I don't want any of them rooting for me this week.
So you actually had some support and you just blew it. All right, I like that. I mean, I'm all game for fuck them. I get you. You know what? You're gonna do it on your own, right? Is there gonna be any inner family, right? I mean, either one of you gonna call mom and dad and say Brody's beating up on me or TJ's
Well,
not
they
playing
think that's
fair?
a lie. I mean, obviously our parents are probably going to root for me too. Brody's kind of like the kid that we're not exactly sure is part of the family. He looks different than the rest of us.
I'm telling you though, Dad even said last weekend, he goes, I feel like you're always in first place in your league. And I was like, yeah, I know, right? Thanks for noticing, Dad.
Except for every other year when you're in last place. That's all.
Except for every other league, apparently.
All right.
People
Well,
talk about those.
I can put TJ down, Zach up, because obviously TJ can't get picked anymore, and the number 1 seed gets rights right at the moment. Still, where are we at on the clock? The number 2 seed needs to get his shit together. 5 minutes, 6 minutes. Still, any word from Ben? Ben's going to be available to text or tweet. So
No word.
He's ignoring us right now.
Yeah, he's definitely.
He's really the only one not here that may. Well, he's the only one here that's in the playoffs that's not here. And, obviously, he possibly now with TJ out of the mix, if I take another top seed, then, Ben might have to make a pick here. So just want to, keep that. Jim, are you getting more excited now? You at least know 2 people you're not playing.
Yeah, I'm a little antsy.
Didn't this make it fun? I know Clay last night, this came up at the last minute. I'm not sure you were on board. I think this is a fun way to do it. Announce it that we're all doing it at the same time. We're not, it's not in the middle of the morning where Mago could be at work and his pick is 5 hours long where everyone else is 5 minutes. I just thought this was the way to do it. So, and so far,
I like hearing the explanations as to
right. Hearing the thought process. So Clay, are you okay with it now that I know?
Yeah, I was never against it. I was just saying that
you were worried you were going to be,
if that was just a possibility that I was vocalizing is all.
Right. So there's no water. If water breaks right now, you could probably convince her to sit down for 15, maybe 45 more minutes and just wait, right?
It depends on how serious she thinks it is. Because if it was bad, she'd be ripping me out of the seat.
Water break is water break. I'm telling you.
You'll know when it breaks.
Yeah, you'll know when it breaks. I mean, that's
well, I'm saying
some women think they're in labor before the water breaks and the pain gets enough to where they'll go to the doctor maybe before the actual water.
That's what I was talking about.
Just to warn you, Emily, the second time, we never saw the water break or anything. It just was happening.
That's the difference though between the first and the second's always a lot different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So Mark.
Yes, sir.
So are you thinking now, punching this back to you, is there anybody in this room that you've eliminated that you don't want to play?
Well,
or are you going to go back with last year and see that it might be easier to knock, say, me out this week instead of next week?
I have looked at that as an option. Unlike Brody's untruth, I do think I have a team that could beat anyone. Like I said, this league was so even. We had one really good team, one really lucky team, and then everyone else is pretty equal. And then we had Kyle. That's all I got to say. And I'm not the lucky team, Brody. That's all. So I'm saying I think I'm fine. I've geared my team up to win the next 3 weeks, but I've also been here where the damn, I see the 3. I'm getting that countdown where I'm at the Emmys giving my speech. I want to thank all my friends and family.
The music's playing.
Yeah, the music's playing. But no, I've thought, hey, you guys have, Everett, anybody who knows me in fantasy knows I've looked at this from every damn angle there is. That's part of the game, which is also why I wanted to do this. I tried to explain to Mago last night because I think Mago also was like, what really makes the difference? Just say who you want to play when you can and let Clay set it. But like I said, if I'd have made me and Brody make our pick this morning at 9:00, which we probably could have, right? Me and Brody probably could have texted Clay like we did last year and by 9:00 say who we want to play. But like I told Mago last night, if sometime this afternoon it would have come out that Baker Mayfield was definitely out for the rest of the season or definitely this week, that's now information maybe someone didn't have a pick yet now has, meaning that didn't happen and Ben's not here. But if that would have happened, all of a sudden Ben's team becomes more of an option for me if Baker Mayfield is hurt. So that's why I think it's more fair that we're all doing this within the same hour time frame. No one's making their decision with any more data than anyone else had. Does that make sense too? I guess not. Everyone was quiet. But But you know what I'm saying? I mean, if me and Brody would have made our picks first thing this morning and then Magel's at lunch and at work all day because he has a job where they don't let him have a phone, so he would have waited till 5 o'clock to make his pick. And by then some major injury news comes out. It gave him an advantage. I just think all of us picking the pick.
That makes sense.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
We do have a comment in the chat room. Kevin Braxton pick Clay. That is Kevin. That's Kevin.
all he's been saying today.
I know. That's what he wants. Everyone. He wants Clay to pick up. He wants to pick
I think
everyone.
he has a crush on me.
All right.
It's decision time here.
I have 1 minute, and
Less
trust
than that.
me, I would have loved to have gotten to pick a Crayport or a Crayport to have picked me. So Brody has taken that from me. So I had to go to my second thing, and like I said, 3 little kittens have lost their mittens, but this pussy is picking a mitten, and I will take Clay in the first round.
Wow.
I'm the opposite. I'm going to take the worst team, the team that barely got in, the team with the worst record, the team that sucked last week. Maybe, I don't know, did you get over 100 points? I quit watching. I was so sad for you. So I'm just saying, I'm not gambling in any way other than I'm just going to pick the worst team out there and take that route. And no, I'm picking him because he has by far the worst schedule next week or this week, whatever we're going to say, matchup wise than what he has next week. And my worst matchup, believe it or not, is the quarterback that's with 2 of his players. So I'm hoping that even, meaning if my quarterback shits the bed, that means hopefully his 2 players shit the bed also. So I kind of have that was a little extra thing there that he has to root for 2 of his players, but somehow make sure my quarterback doesn't get the points also. So I think the matchup's kind of good for me and him as far as, the game itself goes. But no, like I said, I'm gonna take a mitten on for the first time for 2 years in a row. I'm gonna try to, everyone thinks Clay's team's the best, and I'm just gonna have to knock him out to help
Everyone
not have to worry about it. So Clay, welcome to my night. Oh, your nightmare. Welcome to your nightmare. Are you ready to play this week, Clay?
Yes, I was looking forward to. I thought Brody would have the balls to pick me.
Oh,
Thank you
He
for
obviously
thinking that
didn't.
about me.
Not wrong, obviously.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
You think so highly.
Yeah, exactly. That was my problem.
Well-
So no, I wanted a top seed to pick. Like, I obviously had to be picked, but I wanted either you or Brody to pick me. Because why mess around and like get someone like Jim or Magle to pick me? I want to take out the top teams right away. So
No, the
bring
other
it on.
The other bad part for Brody is, the way the bracket's lined up now, and I'll say, really, it's unfortunate for me. I love Magle. I was definitely hoping Magle would drop to the 4 seed. Not for any other reason other than I did not, because I'd already kind of figured all this out. I kind of knew Brody was a pussy and wasn't going to take Clay or Magle. So I kind of early on, I don't like now that me, Magle, and Clay are all on the same side of the bracket. One of us 3 is going to have to come out. Brody,
This is exactly why Brody keeps making it to the Super Bowl and losing, because he just has a cakewalk is what it's going to be.
Hey, baby. I just care about appearing. That's
Right.
Yeah.
my
Right.
name's on the championship game.
All right. Well, Clay, it should be fun. Again,
No, I'm excited.
I did the
I
same
am
thing
looking
last-
forward to it.
I did the same thing last year with Dally, and we had a very close matchup, and it was a close week for both of us, and I pulled it out at the end. And it is a little nerve-wracking that someone you pick beats you, and that makes you feel even worse.
Mhm.
You're like, oh, if I'd have picked him, I would have. Now, me. Guys, same as trades and all that. Once I make the pick, it's over. If I lose, I lose. Clay, good luck. Beat Brody in the Super Bowl, or beat Magle. And obviously now there's a shot that you and Magle would play in the next round if you both win in the week 1. And that would be a good matchup. But we definitely have the harder side of the bracket now.
Oh, for sure.
But I was a little bit confused by that. So like,
Wait a minute, you were what? You were what?
a little bit confused.
No
by that.
fucking no way. We know you were confused because it's you.
I asked though, like, does the top seed always play the lowest seed, or does it now go off of from where I picked It's just going to go straight down the line like how a bracket would go. That's what I just didn't know, to be honest. Like
The number one seeds at the top, the number 2 seeds at the bottom. They pick who they play, so they get slotted in at that slot, like where they're at.
Okay.
I move around the other people as they go. That's the other reason I was hoping Brody would pick me, because I didn't want to have to go through Magel and Mark to the Super Bowl. I thought Brody would be an easier path than this. It's going to be a difficult path for me now to get through you and then Magel potentially.
Right. Because the 1 and 2 are 2 separate brackets. And then the 3 and 4 should be separate brackets, but you picked TJ. So TJ's going to be with you. That means the 3 comes down with us. So that's going to be Magel. And, like I said, I agree too. Magel's got a couple decent matchups, and, it'll make it fun.
I think also it will come down, like what will benefit me a lot in this matchup is if James Conner plays or not. That's a huge, if he doesn't play, that's going to be a big problem for me going forward. So I'm really banking on him.
To be honest, I actually like that he's questionable. You now have to make that decision. There's a shot you have to play him and he doesn't play, or he only plays 2 rounds.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If he's listed as out, though, it still hurts me.
Well, okay, but that's my point. That's part of the reason I picked you. I think it hurts you both ways. I know the only way it doesn't hurt you if they say, no, he's not questionable, he's 100% and he's going to play. You still now have to make that decision. If he does play, how much does he play? And to be honest, I also paid attention to Cook. If Cook injury today would have come out that he was worse off than we thought, and then you had Cook's backup, I might have gone a different direction. I'll be real honest with you, because you have Cook's handcuff and because Brody's an idiot. But that's beside the point, that Brody somehow didn't figure out how to get him. But my point was, that's also my reasoning why doing this tonight altogether. That was another injury that I've been watching all day, because that made a difference. So like I said, if they'd have definitely come out sometime this afternoon, Cook is probably not going to play this week, I might not have picked you. I mean, you understand? I mean, that one player can make a difference. And with Connor being questionable, now you have to make the decision, put him in your lineup or not. I'm kind of, I think I'm.
He's playing and he's getting 30 points.
Yeah.
Are you saying Cook or Connor?
Both.
Connor. Pittsburgh sucks. All right. Jim, what do you think of this matchup? Who are you rooting for? Come on, give me some love.
I am rooting for Clay.
I didn't see that coming.
I didn't either. As much hate as I've gotten from Jim about being a corrupt commissioner and how I run this league like shit, I thought he was going to pick you, Mark. I'll be honest.
Jim hates everybody.
That's true.
Honestly, I think you do a good job commissioner-wise. I just like to give you shit.
No, I know.
Mark, I just think it'd be hilarious to see his team just completely shit the bed. And
after picking me too,
and they're
the 8th seed.
I'm on here every week until the Super Bowl and host the podcast, knowing that he's not a participant.
Hey, I mean, I put myself out there. I'm not afraid. Magel, what about you? You got any, horse in this race? By the way, Magel, you are on the clock. Did anyone? Maybe Magel shouldn't be keeping track of his own timer.
I've got 8 minutes, and I'm going to make my decision in 2.
Okay, but that's all right. First of all, let me know about what you think of this matchup. And there's a chance you're going to play the winner.
Yeah, and that falls in there. I honestly would rather probably play Clay. I think your second week matchup is very strong. That's why I was wanting Brady to pick you or Brady to pick me to move me up, because I think your second week's really strong.
I agree. Actually, I think the first week's my hardest. That's why I thought it was more important I played Clay. Then I'm better off the next 2, I think. But by far, Clay's gets a lot better also. So it's a little tough. And again, by then, Connor's more healthy and Cook gets hurt. And Clay's team actually could get even better without any trade. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those things where, it's hard to say. TJ, do you give a shit about who wins this one?
Not really, but I actually would go for you, Mark, just because I think Clay does have a stronger team overall. And I wouldn't meet either of you guys till the championship. And I think by then Clay would be a much tougher matchup.
All right. Everett, you got a rooting interest at all, and you still haven't been picked yet. We still have you and Jim here to get picked, but
I'd be stupid not to root for you and try to keep that trophy in the Pricer household. We make it the 2 Pricers both back to back, although I'm still going for the 3 3-time Super Bowl championship. But
Yeah, it would be 4 trophies that would be in the Pricer household out of 7 seasons. So that would be pretty good. That would be over 500. So, that'll be fine. Let me get Brody in here.
Why?
Brody.
What?
Yeah,
Come
Brody.
on, man.
Brody, are you glad that I went ahead and took him, or are you worried now that you're going to eventually have to play, obviously the 3 better teams than yours? One of them's going to make it all the way to the Super Bowl, it looks like.
I'm not worried, man. I know I'm going to be in the Super Bowl. I mean, I'm not saying I'm going to win it, but I'm going to be there. I know
love
that.
that your hopes and dreams are just barely making it somehow. I love it. Just getting there is all Brody cares about. I love it.
It's better than what I do in life, all right?
Yeah. Wait, I hope your children aren't watching you and going, Dad, I just someday want to be almost a princess. I want to buy the dress but never put it on.
Lower the bar.
Lower.
Just aim low. Anything that goes over low.
Where's he get that
be
from?
fine.
Where does he get that shit from?
I don't know. It's got to be my mom.
It's got to be your mom. All right. So I think this route, Magel makes a pick, and then I don't think Ben will have to pick now, right?
No.
And
No.
Ben is
Right.
alive. He's texting me now.
Yeah, he's texting me
So
too.
whoever Magel picks,
Yes, and me as well.
TJ, well, you know what? I'm bummed Clay out. I had TJ out already. I got to bring Zach in because obviously Clay can't be picked. TJ can't be picked, but he set out the last one. Magel, we're going to let you talk a few minutes before you make your decision. Obviously, if I'm thinking right, you have a host smasher, 2-time Super Bowl champion, or you have someone who didn't give a shit enough to be here tonight. That'd be Ben. So, those are the 3 people you have to choose from. Go ahead, give us your thoughts, and if you're ready, give us your pick.
My pick is going to be the 2-time champ.
it's a mistake.
See you, Zach.
Yeah, it could be, but looking at Ben's team, really scares me of Baker Mayfield playing Cincinnati, because if his team goes off, they could, looking at their history, they could score 220 points, and they are playing Cincinnati, and that scares the ever living shit out of me.
I agree. That's why, to me, all day paying attention to how hurt Baker Mayfield was a big.
Yeah, because honestly, I didn't want to do that, but Clay was probably going to be my pick if you'd have probably gone with Zach, because I wouldn't have wanted to go with Ben. I already looked at Jimmy's. Jimmy's this week looks pretty strong. I mean, even him and Clay's little shenanigans of taking their team off the board and moving their starters, and
so
it's
annoying.
still not hard to figure out who they're going to start. It just takes a little more time. Thank God I was sick today and had the time to fuck with it.
That's hysterical.
But yes, figured it out. Didn't want to play Jimmy or Ben this week, so my 2 picks were actually going down by what I thought you guys were going to do, was going to be between Clay and Zach.
All right. Well, that means technically, if I'm calculating correctly, pull the commissioner back up here. That means definitely a Pricer household or Magel Mitten household will be in the Super Bowl. That right? It can't be any other way now.
Yep.
We're 4 on the bottom part of the bracket, so it's either going to be a Pricer or a Magel Mitten in the Super Bowl, right?
No,
Yep.
Or I can win, and it's a Crayport.
No, in the Super Bowl.
No, in the Super Bowl.
Oh, I thought you were saying play, and I was like, what? There's no way.
No.
This is why you've never won. What's going on?
Brody just
Come on.
showing off how smart he is.
Come on. Man.
No, I'm just saying that means there will definitely be a Pricer or a Magel Mitten
Yes.
combination. Now, Clay moved out, so it doesn't really count, but we still kind of keep that as family. But
It's still family.
we are right. So we're kind of guaranteeing now.
Yeah, and Zach lives at my house half the fucking time.
That's
so-
fine. The fact you won't
Whoa!
That's true.
Your family misses
So
me
where
when I'm
will
not
the
there. I didn't know
trophy be
that.
residing?
Yes, we do.
If Zach
Yes, we do.
wins. If Zach wins,
Zach
where's the trophy actually going?
Zach
Is it
doesn't-
at your house, Mark, or at Clinton's
I
house?
shouldn't say. I have
I'll
a room
keep it in my
upstairs.
car, Clay.
I have a room upstairs that Zach
Smart.
lives in. I like to call it his room.
Hey, Zach, you'll get cookies every week if you keep it over here.
Cookies every week. So congratulations, Everett. What do you think about the pick?
So I think it's the right pick. No. But I mean, I feel flattered that Mega would pick me since basically this season I've taught him everything he knows and basically helped his team become what it is.
I will give you that. Yes,
Like
you've helped me
Le'Veon
out a
Bell,
bunch.
Devontae Parker. I mean, there's multiple things I could tell you that I helped him out with. So it's kind of like I trained him to be this, so you got to beat the best to be the best. And I do think Mego has the strongest team. So if he beats me, I'll be rooting for him all the way. But don't ask me for any fantasy advice this week because I will give you the wrong advice if you ask. Other than that,
Kind of
good
figured,
luck.
yeah.
I kind of figured. TJ, who do you know, again, what do you think of this matchup? Do you have a preference here?
I'm honestly surprised Clint didn't try and ride the Bengals streak that they're about to pull off of victories and just pick Ben because the Browns may shit the bed against the Bengals this week, given the Bengals two big wins in a row.
Two big
wins.
wins.
Yeah, they won last week.
Yeah, they won.
Has
They beat the
anybody
Jets.
notified Ben? Has anyone notified Ben here in a minute if he's
Wasn't that their first win?
Yeah. But I'm saying this
Yeah, there's a big
upcoming
one.
week. This
Oh,
upcoming
yeah.
week.
Ain't
Yeah.
gonna happen.
Well, it
That's
made
a
it even better that
That's
we
a
won.
big chance to take with Cincinnati.
Washington and Miami won also, so we still have the number one pick.
So I'll probably actually go with Zach. I'll root for him because
Woo!
his
Me and
team's
TJ
the
been getting
worst,
along with
and I'd like to meet the double champ and the championship and take him out.
I hope I meet you, TJ. Your team can't score at all.
I'm
Good.
rooting for
We
Wait a
both
minute.
want to meet each other.
Go, Zach.
We know how it feels.
I also, I have to stop and think. The top of the bracket doesn't have a champion even in it. So all the champions are in the bottom
Yeah.
bracket, right?
Yeah.
Well, a future champ. You guys got me.
Well,
so.
whatever. Jim, I don't know if you paid attention here on who's playing who and that now you know who you're going to play. But before you get into who you're going to play, what do you think about Magel not picking you and going with Zach?
I think one word would sum up my feelings about that. Relieved.
Oh, you didn't want to play Magel, huh?
No, I did not. I'll be honest. If
I didn't
there's
want to play him
one
either.
that I wouldn't want to play, it's probably Magel and you, Mark, just based on rosters.
Oh, man. And you're getting some respect now,
Man,
too, right? I mean, did you think you'd be getting this respect after week 6?
No, I didn't. Another part of the relieved factor is now both the teams I didn't want to get picked by are in the same bracket. So
Right.
Mhm.
You wouldn't see any of us till the Super Bowl.
You're in the cake bracket, man.
I feel I feel good. I had the 2 crap ports in there with me, and then
Come
the guy
on,
with all
baby.
the Browns.
I'm a
players.
sleeper now, apparently. I'm a sleeper. Number 1 sleeper.
Number 1 sleeper.
Oh,
Did anyone poll for? I don't think anyone voted for Brody, right? Not one person. voted.
No,
that
he
one-
talked himself
that one.
out of being able to be
Clay,
rooting for.
Clay, what's your comment on the
I
matchup?
just wanted everyone to know it is now set. I've set the playoff bracket, so
And
you
that
can check
cannot
those
be
out.
changed, right?
Right, the bracket.
I mean, if I get pissed, I'll change it.
Unless I pay him.
yeah.
So Jim, that puts you and Ben. So I'll stick with you. What do you think about the matchup? You and Ben by default are going to be playing each other in round 1. I don't know. You guys, how did it turn out during the regular season? Was Ben one of your streak busters, or is he someone that you ate up during your streak?
I think I would have had to have beaten him. I don't, he's got one of those teams where I feel like it's been under the radar. He doesn't say a whole lot throughout the week in the trash chat on Facebook. I haven't even taken a good look. I guess I assumed I would be picked pretty early by one of the top seeds. So
Ben's
it'll be
team
an
definitely
interesting
goes
matchup.
up and down based on the Browns. If the Browns do good, you could be in trouble. If the Browns suck, you should have an easy week. That's the problem when you have 3 people from one team that there's so much ups and downs.
I don't like that they're playing Cincinnati.
So that means you have to root for Cincinnati this week. Is that a problem?
I mean, I hate all Ohio teams. So
What? I'm just saying you need that, you need that root there. You gotta,
I
have
would
to
definitely
pull,
root against Cleveland for sure.
right?
I mean, Jim's got Nick Foles to help carry him through this week.
Oh,
too,
yeah.
So.
I forgot. Thanks to Zach. He's an asset that might just push me over the top.
Nick Foles. It's
Negative 1.2 last week.
yeah, and I think
And
they've
he
already
still
said
beat me.
he's not playing next week.
He has a good playoff schedule.
He did have a good payoff schedule. He's going to be holding the clipboard during those games now. But
Oh, he's a smart guy.
Hey, that's better than what he did last week.
yeah, that's true. He'd have got right. At least if he'd held the clipboard, he'd have got you 0 instead of
Yeah, he'll get a whole 1.2 more points than he did last week.
Brody, what about you now? What do you think of that matchup? Ben, your butt buddy versus the host smasher, that you guys creamed each other back in the day when you were Dairy Martin or whatever you together.
Oh, yeah. Best cone maker
Wait,
in town.
Ben worked there too, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
I forgot. Ben did work there. So what do you think of this matchup?
I do think Host Smasher is going to come out on top.
Come
But
on,
I'm
what?
rooting for Ben. Just like I'm rooting for every worst team. I'm rooting for Zach. I'm rooting for Clay. I just want the easiest route. I mean, you know my strategy. Easiest route possible.
I understand
all I
your
want.
strategy. I get it. Throw the ball up in the air and close your eyes.
Let's go, Ben. Let's go, baby.
Go, Ben. So you're rooting for Zach and Ben. Because you'll play the winner of Ben
Yeah.
or Host Smasher.
Yeah.
So based on that, I know who you're rooting for. So you prefer to play Ben in the next round.
Yeah. 100%.
Have you looked at Ben's schedule next week?
Yeah, Ben has a good schedule too. The
Take a
Browns,
look at his schedule for next week.
It doesn't.
Brody hasn't looked at
doesn't
anything.
matter.
Brody has no idea what he's talking
His
about.
team is terrible. Okay.
yes,
Okay, just take a look at the team. I honestly think Ben will be the representative of that top bracket. I think he will be in the Super Bowl. Personally.
He
I
does
think
have a tough week this week, though.
Yeah, I think if he gets through Jim, I don't think Brody will beat him.
Oh, come on, Clayton. Almost
I'm-
everybody in the league picked you to play. Your team's trash.
your team.
Okay.
Trash.
If I was that trash, then why didn't you pick me?
It was only because of Julio Jones and James Conner. That's the only reason. TJ's
Damn,
team
Ben's
is
second,
more
Ben's
trash.
second round
You said
schedule is
Brody,
really
you said
good.
That's what I'm saying, Brody. Take a look at his second round
No.
schedule. If you end up playing him, you will lose to him.
Brody keeps saying Connor only because he doesn't want to have to root against Connor. Has nothing to do
That's
with
true.
I really believe I do, and I'm 100% honest. I believe Connor with a question mark is actually better for me than Connor with an out or no question mark. I love that Clay's going to have to Sunday morning go, I can't believe I'm starting somebody that may not even play. I mean,
He's got the 1 o'clock game, right?
yeah. So, I mean, that's
Well, at least
far.
that helps me.
And
At least it's
again-
not Sunday night, and I'm making that decision.
Cook being hurt would have been a big factor too. So,
Yeah.
again, Brody didn't make that,
All right. Ben might have an easy schedule, but Olsen sucks ass. Metcalf sucks ass.
Olsen may not play this
Jones
week either.
sucks
That boy got
ass.
knocked the fuck out.
They all suck ass.
Olsen's
Doesn't matter.
All right. So when you get knocked out by Ben next week, are you going to be saying the same thing?
Yes, I will actually.
yeah, he
Yeah,
will.
three-
DJ, what do you think of the matchup? Host Smasher and Ben.
Oh, I think Clay's wrong in his comment he just made. One of them will be playing me next week. I don't know. Honestly, that one's a toss-up for me on who's going to win. I mean, Ben's team has consistently underperformed. He's just gotten lucky, and the other teams haven't scored that many points against him. So it'll be interesting. I can't choose either one because I don't know. Did I beat you, Host Smasher?
No, I think you were part of the streak.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
The streak.
I'll beat him. Nope. I did beat Host Smasher, I think.
All right. Clay, why
I'll
TJ
beat 'em both.
who we played? He beat them both. All right. Yeah, Clay.
I was just going to say, do we want to go around and each pick who we think is going to be in the Super Bowl, the two teams?
Well,
Now
I think we kind of have. Let me get Megal's comment here on this last matchup. We heard on his group. Megal, what do you think of the Ben Host Smasher? And do you have a horse in that race?
Well, like I said, I mean, the reason I picked Zach was because I think that those two teams can have strong weeks this week. Jimmy team looks really strong this week, and Ben, of course, they're playing the
That'd be a
Bang.
good matchup to watch.
They're playing the Bengals, so I mean, if Mayfield goes off, Jimmy doesn't have a chance because he could score 220 some points.
Right. I agree.
So yeah, that can be scary.
I think the matchups.
I think that's one of the better matchups this week.
I think the whole matchups turned out pretty good. I mean, I think there's a lot of good games that are going to be playing this week. And I know Clay said, unfortunately, Clay, my issue is I think everyone's going to pick themselves. If we're just saying, who do you think is going to make it?
But that's only one half of the bracket.
Well, I mean, hey, I mean,
we could do don't pick yourself.
Simple. The top half is so easy. It could be any of them. That's the problem. That they,
that's the fun in picking.
Even start with the leader of the pack on the top bracket. They're just anybody could come out of that.
I still want to hear everybody's choice for the.
Yeah, I just want to hear it.
All right, go ahead. I'll start with you then, Clay. Who's your pick for the Super Bowl?
So I'm saying, like I said, I think it's going to be Ben, and I will exclude my team, even though I think I will be in it. I'm going to pick Magel.
So Magel, Ben, that's your pick.
Yeah. So you really believe that I'm going to beat you?
No. I'll pick me. I just didn't. That's no fun to just pick yourself. We all know I'm going to be there.
Brody, who do you think? Who do you think the two most likely teams now, based on the matchups, to be in the Super Bowl?
Me and you, baby. Me and you. We'll have double money on that.
We've been there.
Brody, who would you pick if it wasn't you, though?
Probably me again. I mean, it's hard not to pick me. I'm sorry. All I think about is me.
Oh, Smasher. Who do you think the two best teams to come out and meet each other?
Well, I think there's a rubber match that is due, and you were too chicken to pick me with your pick, but I think that will come back to haunt you in the Super Bowl.
I got you right. You're the only team. Me and you. I've either beaten everyone or I got beat. Me and you are the only one where there is no. You beat me once, I beat you once. So you're right. That would be a good rubber match.
Me and Jim are the same way. I beat him once. He beat me once.
See, Jim couldn't close out anything, huh? So there's a chance. So there's a chance Jim could be in a rematch with two people then.
Yep.
Oh, Jim, there you go. So keep that up. Zach, who do you pick right now as your two Super Bowl favorites?
I would love to be there, but I honestly think I will not make it because odds are stacked against me in the tough bracket. I think Ben sweeps the top bracket easily because his schedule is a joke. And then I honestly think that Magel will be in it just because, again, all season he's had probably the most stacked team in the league.
A Ben Magel matchup.
The only thing I think hurts him is that Ron Rivera got fired today, and I think that's going to hurt Christian McCaffrey because they're going to start spreading the ball around more. But he still has a solid team.
Well, right. I think if anything, this proves that they know they're not going anywhere and they can do anything in the next few weeks.
He's not going to get those 2-yard line punches anymore because the little boy can't get through the linemen. So,
all right. Did I ask everybody then?
No.
Nope. TJ, who do you think?
Don't care.
The Super Bowl, I think, will be Steelers Seahawks. Our championship, I think, will be me and Mr. Magel.
Mr. Magel. Mr. Magel's getting some love. All right. I mean, I like it. I mean, obviously,
I didn't get a pick.
Well, I'm coming to you now. I didn't start with you, but I'll get to you. And Pittsburgh's not making to the Super Bowl. I'm sorry.
Well, you keep calling ours the Super Bowl. I think it's just called the championship.
No, it's a Super Bowl. Nobody likes you. Magel, who do you think is going to be in the Super Bowl?
I think it's going to be a tough matchup. I think I'm going to be playing you in the second round, and I think that's going to be tough. But once I get past you, I think I will be playing Ben.
I think
it's going to be me and Ben.
It's like last year. Me and TJ leave, I guess, or Brody left. So we lost Brody. Yeah, that happened last year. Me and Brody thought we had the two best teams, and then we both lost. So, anything can happen, which makes it fun. And, I'm going to go the same way. I mean, I know I'm like Brody. I really think, I know everyone's going with Magel, but I looked at the matchups for Clay after this week. I think it's the other way around. Whoever wins for me and Clay is going to be the winner coming out of our bracket. I think Magel's okay matchup wise. Me and Clay are both really good matchup wise the second week. So I'm going to kind of say me or Clay coming out of that side. And man, I got to say, I'm going to ride the Smasher. he made some trades. He's going to have to work on that quarterback issue. The good thing is there's some options out there actually. And he made some trades. He's got some people who can score. I do not have confidence in Ben making it. I think Ben has the best team and the best matchups. I just don't. I'm counting the Browns out. I think the Browns shit the bed one of the 3 games because they haven't put 3 games together all season. And I think that's going to cost. I think Ben's going to lose a game and not score 100 points. That's going to be my little thing.
But they're playing Cincinnati.
I don't care. That's this way. I'm saying in 3. That's why I don't think Ben can win the Super Bowl. I think one of the 3 games, Ben's team's barely, if not going to score less than 100 points. Because I think
score 80
the
against
Browns are
Garrett.
done. I think Odell Beckham's going to start. He's already getting some hate. I think it's a long way down there. So I'm going to go Ho Smasher out of that top bracket. And again, I know it's not the full answer, but me or Clay. I'm just saying. There's our bracket. You know what? Can we just eliminate the top of the bracket? I think our bottom bracket is the bracket to watch, right? I mean, those are all the games that people. Those are
Whoever
the
makes it out of that is the champion, I think.
I know we thought that last year though, and Reed or Kyle snuck one out on everybody.
Yeah.
Bitch. So
I don't know that top half. I'll tell you the Ben and Jimmy. That's going to be tough. Whoever comes out of that right there.
Yeah, but then they get to play a Crayport, so that's a bye week essentially.
I'm going to pull a Steelers last wild card spot Super Bowl run.
I think if I had to pick a dark horse, and I don't mean dark horse in a way like I think there's an outside chance. It's just trust me, if TJ could get out of that bracket and get to the Super Bowl, I would be ecstatic. So I think it's going to be Jim. So Jim, don't take it the wrong way. I think that's the best shot. But I do have to say, if TJ makes it to the Super Bowl, it's just going to be like, I'm like, that's all right. That's good. I would be happy with that too. If TJ somehow sneaks through that bracket and gets to this, and I call it Super Bowl because it's a fucking fantasy football show. You know what? So championships can kiss my ass. Championships are like what the Browns won like in the 30s and no one gives a shit anymore. So we win Super Bowls and goblets in this fucking league. So
yeah, that right there is another reason Mark's not going to win is because he's already been touching the goblet. I'm sure he's drank out of it.
He better not have drank out of it yet.
I am a champion.
If he did, he cursed himself.
I'm a champion. I'm allowed to touch
I hope
it.
he did.
No, the only non-champion, and I let Magel touch it just to jinx him. And I forgot about that. I let Magel touch it. So that could be the jinx for Magel.
He's not talking about the goblet.
Magel is Magel is the only non-champion. And Magel, the goblet in person does have some. I mean, it's pretty cool, right?
I think it's really cool looking.
Yeah. I mean, it's Magel was fascinated by it. That's fine. So Jim, there you go. There's a lot of people pulling for you. Are you gonna pull? Are you gonna pull one out for us?
Just a few more hoes to smash.
Just a few more hoes to smash. All right. Now, I'd assume when in the end of the season we get all this engravement done. TJ had to leave and go to work. Are we going to engrave real names, nicknames, or team names on the trophy?
I think the champ gets to decide what they have engraved. It's their choice. They won.
All right. So what we'll have to get is a list of all the past winners.
Yeah, you can look that up on history.
Obviously, the ones aren't in the league anymore. Their name will go on there. And
yeah.
But all right, we'll go with whatever they decide then. Guys, we killed an hour. So we'll get ready here to end the podcast. And maybe we'll go a few more minutes on the YouTube to clear up any dirty laundry. But I think it was a fun show. I think it was exciting to do all the announcements at one time. Is this something we probably want to do in the future?
Yeah, I agree. I think we could also do picking the draft order on the podcast.
Oh, that's true. Because we've always done that in our summer meeting where no one shows up.
Well, we always, if we can, or we just send out texts and try and knock down that day. So if we can do it on the podcast, even better.
How does the draft pick work? The picking of the draft order.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Right.
To do that on here.
Like, how's the picks decided?
Oh, we just random. Each get like a lottery ball. Basically, it's random.
Yeah. And if your lottery ball comes up first, Jim, then you get to pick what spot you pick, 1 through 12. So the ball doesn't mean you're number. If you get the first ball, it doesn't mean you're number one. It means you get the option to be number one, but you could pick anything 1 through 12, all the way down to the 12th guy. Just get stuck whatever's left.
I'd probably pick 12 just because I know you like that pick, Mark.
I know you. I know. Hey, everyone loves my leftovers because they see how good I am with them. You know what? That's fine. I can live with that. All right, guys, I'm going to end the podcast here. People who are listening, I hope you enjoyed our harassing each other and making the pick. And I would recommend any league doing this. It's just so much fun, and it makes people have to do things. I had a chance to make a trade towards the end there, not at the end, a week before, that I really thought might have costed me a loss of the last 2 weeks, which I think would have dropped me out of pick number 2. And I decided not to make that trade because I really needed to win the last 2 weeks. Because I think it was important for me to have that number 2 spot or the number 1 and have the ability to pick who I want. But I get it. There. I've been both sides. So there's something about being picked. There's no pressure. Like Clay, you had no pressure, right? So
I love it.
You beat me. If I beat you, it doesn't matter. But if you beat me, it gives you some say. So it's double-edged sword. But I do like the fact that I get to make the call. And I think that's what's good in the league, that you have to play it all the way through. You can't just say, well, I'm in the playoffs. I won't sit my guys, or I'll do this or do it. No, you have to play it out if you want to pick. So I think it's kind of cool that we do this. So people out there that are listening that are in other leagues, try to incorporate it and do it. It's fun. And like I said, and this made it even more fun. In the past, we just got a text from Clay. We text him something back, and then it was posted. And then maybe we didn't have a chat room. So just, you'd hear rumors about, can you believe so-and-so picked him? That kind of thing, where at least now we actually have a reason why we did things. So, guys, thanks for joining us here, the League of Anarchy Fantasy Football Podcast. We will be back next Tuesday night, which obviously will be a night where 4 of us will be eliminated. And we'll be talking about the next round of matchups. And obviously, we'll be talking about some of the games and how they turned out. So come back and join us next week, live on YouTube or on the podcast. And guys, say goodnight. If I can find a mouse now, I'll say goodnight.
This has been Just a Fantasy Fan Podcast. And to keep your fantasies going, follow us at justthefantasyfan.com. Say good night. Good night.
All right, podcast is over, but we're still on YouTube for a few minutes. Guys, I'm pretty excited. I think it turned out real well, and I think the Crayport versus Crayport will be exciting.
A crap fest is what that is.
The crap bowl.
Yeah,
that's going to be just an awful game to even
keep
track of.
Keep track of the crap bowl.
Now, does that match up? Like the guys that are out of it, does it still match them up against somebody to where they're actually playing somebody?
Yeah, there's a losers bracket.
They're loser bracket.
I think I'm more excited to watch the Reed Helsinger matchup than I am the Brody match, the Crayport matchup.
Yeah, because Kyle has to win out now to not get the toe ring.
Mm-hmm.
I think Kyle has to win out or he's guaranteed toe ringage.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, is there a way would have made the podcast better if we could have incorporated? I don't think an hour would have been enough then, so we probably could have done it. But I guess we could have done something where that group got to pick, where 2 of them, at least, no, it wouldn't work. Only one person would have got to pick.
They don't deserve it. They lost.
Huh?
Yeah, they don't
deserve it.
Yeah, fuck them. But next Sunday now, I got confirmation tonight that we're definitely moving this weekend. So I can't commit to anything on Sunday now. So
it is.
We can, here's the thing. We can do something at my house, but if somebody is having a baby,
right,
and we have to leave, then the party's got to break up. So
no, I'll watch the house, Megal. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Well, again, now that being said, I did talk to my boss. I mean, we're going to do everything we can to where at a minimum I'm home by like 1:00 or something. So, I mean, if I'm obviously I'll send out a text or I'll tell Zach, I can set the shit up. Meaning worst case scenario. Yeah. If Clay has a baby or something, I will probably at some point Sunday be here. my boss is I've told him, man, Sundays, I'd rather work all night Friday and Saturday to be off Sunday. So he said, we'll try to work that out. So, but it's just hard for me to commit food or anything else. So I'm just letting it, starting tomorrow, we're moving some more shit and I just don't have any time. So that's where we're at. If you guys do something on Sunday, I can't commit to coming, but I'll probably try to come a little, I'll stop by or do something probably to at least show up. But like I said, also Kim's dad being here and Kim works. So I kind of gotta, if I do go, it wouldn't be for any long period of time, but I'll work something out. Since I can't be with him in the morning, then I kind of have to be here with him in the afternoon. So, so whatever you guys decide, text it out. If something happens that you can't, then my door will be open either way. I mean, like I said, I can set it all up and show Zach. It's not that hard. I can show Zach how to at least get the game started.
It is hard.
But I'll be here. I will be here by 1:00. I've told Joe. So, I mean, I guess there's an outside chance I'm a hair late, but I'll be here. But because I still think it'd be fun to watch the games with the people you're playing against.
I agree.
So, but that being said, at least now we do have the chat room. We do have other ways. In the past, we never even had that, but at least now they have some outside things. So if you guys figure something out, text it out and let it know. But I'm also out there, I don't say worst case scenario, meaning I have the TVs, I have everything set up. My house will have games on all day that day. If anybody wants to show up or if that's, the option because of a baby coming, my house will be open. So, and like I said, I don't know, in the chat room, really, other than a few of us, no one made it sound like they cared one way or the other. So, or if that means they're not coming anyway, meaning, if only 3 people want to do it, then does it really matter? I just thought if we could get at least 6 of us, 6 to 8 that were in the playoffs together would be kind of cool. TJ didn't say one way or the other. So I'm assuming that probably he's one that would probably be out if I had to guess based on the way he acted. Brody's half and half, depending on if his wife works, right? So I say we work the next day. And again, I may not be in I know you guys make fun of me that I'm always in the chat. I may not even be in the chat the next few days. So if you guys do something, Zach can text me. If I don't, I'll see it. I'll pay attention. Just not be able to reply, but
finally have a day off from the chat.
Fuck you. So, but
I mean, even when it's quiet, you're the one who texts and you're like, pretty quiet in here. And then you just start talking shit about anybody. And then
a lot of times he's just talking to himself too.
Right. So why does that matter?
He'll argue with himself.
I don't know how many times at work my boss has been like, you texting your girlfriend? And it's like, no, I'm texting 11 other boys. Just don't just
but that's
leave me
not
alone.
the group chat, right?
Yeah, no, that's my other league. So we did our draft at the Mask.
I think the chat room by far.
Oh my God.
The chat room, I think the podcast and the chat room have been a positive for the league. But I do think technically the chat room is more important than the podcast because it goes on every day, including at night. Me and Mago, I think we're texting last night, like almost till 1:00 in the morning.
I fell asleep, man. I was not feeling good. I saw your last 3 this morning.
Yeah, I even texted on the last 3. I think I even texted my last thing was, I think you fucking fell asleep, Bagel.
Yeah. You said you could, your fingers were fucked up texting, and I think you fell asleep by.
Yeah. So it didn't matter. But whatever you guys work out is fine. And if that workout means, hey, you guys can't do it, then you can post, again, then anyone's welcome here that day and all day or come and go or, and then it will come down to Monday night also. Me and Zach, Brody, Zach, Brody, Ben, TJ. And if Megan wants to come, we're all going to be playing basketball together. If after basketball, you guys want to come here, especially if it's a close matchup or anyone's welcome here Monday night also to watch the Monday night game. So that's also an option. I can't imagine with these matchups that Monday, who plays Monday night? Anybody know how important is
Giants,
that?
Philly.
Oh, so not a lot of fantasy shit going on.
Yeah.
Never mind.
If it comes down to that, it will be my defense that we're playing. So
I got you.
Or maybe Golden Tate if I end up playing him.
One of my quarterback.
So do you have Jones or
no?
Wentz.
Okay. All right. Well, could come down to that night then. I just know those aren't. Wait, you said the Giants?
Yeah.
Oh, I got Barkley.
You're still playing him?
Yeah, he's my flex spot. I think he's a good enough running back to be a flex.
Yeah, for a flex.
It's about like Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah. I mean, he had a good week this week. I'm hoping they just ride that.
Yeah.
He's had good weeks every week.
No, he hasn't. He scored me like 10 points one time.
For me.
He had like, you're
talking Bell.
Yeah, Bell has been. I'd rather had Bell than Barkley the last 5 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
Sure. So, all right.
Oh, and with that being said, what does everyone think their weakest position is going into the playoffs?
Quarterback.
Sorry, Jimmy.
I wish that freaking Kevin would have just given me Mahomes.
Don't we all?
Yeah. Honestly, I don't. His playoffs.
Yeah, Mahomes playoffs.
But I'd rather have Mahomes than what Jimmy.
Than Nick Foles. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of quarterbacks on waivers this week, though. So.
Yeah.
I know it'll be fun. And Megal, we already talked. Megal's been
Darnold's going to be on there.
I mean, I think obviously Carson ended up not being hurt, which helps Megal going into this. But not having Rashad Penny though makes you worry when you see your running back go out.
Especially when I dropped him 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, makes it suck.
And he just had one run that somebody had to pick him up over.
Who ended up with him? I meant to look it up last night.
Kevin.
Oh, Kevin. All right. Oh, so that means no one can even use him now.
No, I gave him. I thought he'll last one more week, and then he has 50 yards, and at the end of the game he breaks a 67-yarder for a touchdown, and his points go whoosh.
And then Jim, what was I going to say? The trades you made with all your keepers and all that and picks. Do you think that's going to help you now for the rest of the playoffs, even if the quarterback part didn't work out? Are you still fine with the team got a better shot than if you hadn't done any of those?
Yeah, I mean, for one position, I was extremely weak at tight end, and getting Kittle, I mean, that's a potential game changer for me on a week-to-week basis, and the fact that I can keep him next year. Edelman was a big one because he's averaging 20 points a game. He's a keeper.
Right.
And I don't think I'll miss Sutton that much because I'm already strong in wide receiver. So
now, it's just us 5, but I don't know. As soon as the trade deadline comes, doesn't it seem like, even though we were going into a week 13, I don't know. I guess my game wasn't that important, but did it make the week seem much more boring? There was nothing
to
look at. It's no trading sucks.
I wasn't joking when I said I didn't know what to do now that I couldn't trade.
Right. Mm-hmm. It's just like all of a sudden you're like, there's no reason to even look at your team because it's like, well, why look at it? I can't change it now.
I just keep looking at waivers, hoping that like a refrigerator have a better snack in it. If I just keep closing it and open it, it never happens.
Yeah. So leagues that don't trade at all, I don't know how they get. I mean, it just sucks. But I do know this week has just been kind of boring. That nothing can happen. I don't know what we can do to fix it. I think it's just the way it is. You just have to prepare for the playoffs, and obviously the excitement kicks back up now this week. But obviously Zach and Jim and Reed had something to play for, so they obviously, mine didn't matter a whole lot, even though I wanted to keep that number 1. I think I did the math too, though. I think I would, even if I'd have lost the way it turned out, I think I'd have been number 2 anyway.
As long as TJ lost. Yeah.
So I think I was either way.
I'm just happy to be here at this point.
Yeah. Makes it fun. And like I said, you just barely made the playoffs in the other league too.
I didn't think I even had a chance to make that one, but I made the playoffs in 4 out of my 6 leagues. So I'm happy with
that one. We're playing for a $200 WWE style belt. That's a big ass championship belt you get in that league.
Yeah, I don't even know anybody in that league, so I'd love to have that just so they know you. Double A was already smack talking you in the chat room today. Yeah. Well,
Double A is in first place, and he's playing.
He's going to have to beat me and my 17 wide receivers I have on that team. I have nobody else in any of the other positions.
Well, I talked to, I don't know if it's Meg or somebody else the other day. I don't do handcuffs I don't handcuff my own running backs most of the season. I like to handcuff other people's. So maybe I get 2 good running backs or something if something happens. But this time of season, I have all 3 of my handcuffs. I feel safe. I think it's important now. And the number 1 reason is no decisions. I don't have to look at 3, and go, do I start him or sit him? Now, my only running backs on my bench are my handcuffs for the starters. And the only decision is one of them gets hurt, I switch them, so It
Yeah.
definitely makes
Yeah, I feel good because I'm starting other people's handcuffs. Those are my starters on my team for running back.
right. So I don't have any decisions really, Clay. Just to let you know, the way my team looks is.
Yeah.
And you said my weakness. To believe it or not, my weakness this week is my 49ers defense. I can't afford to cut them because they have 2 good weeks coming up the next 2 weeks, but they just happen to, they have a bad matchup this week, but it is against your Saints. So,
Yeah.
And it's against my quarterback. But again, also, I know maybe it won't matter. That was also part of my decision on playing you. I mean, the fact that if that game goes south, it hurts both of us. And I hope I have enough better players. The thing I think about is always, it doesn't hurt my main players. It hurts your main guys. I am sorry, Thomas and Kamara are your main players. If Breeze and my defense just do okay, I should be able to survive. I have Fournette, I have Henry, so I really took that into consideration when I picked you is, if that game becomes a very low scoring game, which everyone's calling for, I can survive if Breeze gets me 12 points and my defense gets me 8, that's 20 points. But if Kamara gets you 8 and Thomas gets you 12, that's a sucky 20 points for you, because those are your main,
That's what happened to me this week against Jim. They put up average. I think I had 15 points out of both of them, which for most players is good, but not what I need out of Kamara and Thomas. So
your team pretty much shit the bed.
Yeah, honestly though, I had been rolling a three-week winning streak of scoring like 200 plus points. So I'd much rather shit the bed this week or last week than first week of the playoffs.
I am hoping you stay shitty and stinky one more week. I think
that
2 weeks
now
of
this is my
it wouldn't hurt me at all for you.
Oh yeah, but no, I was almost glad to see it because I knew you can't keep doing that every week, 200 points consistently.
I know,
you eventually have a bad week. So
I'm sure you didn't count on the Eagles doing that against Miami either.
No, I didn't think the Miami would have a shootout, but that's also that game is who is it? Darnold has now scared me too, doing what he did against the Bengals. I'm honestly considering dropping him and picking up another quarterback. So
I know, but the problem is he has got good matchups. You think his matchups are good going forward too, but not based on
at least this week. But I don't know now.
Right, so it makes it hard.
Well, that's why I was excited to have the Jets, but because Miami Ryan Fitzpatrick will not stop throwing the fucking ball, and so I don't know if I can play the Jets defense. That's pretty excited about. But the good thing about, not to give Clay advice, is that Miami's defense is ass. The only reason why they beat the Eagles is because Ryan Fitzpatrick he just throws the ball nonstop. So,
but the Eagles have never gotten an offense going all year. Their wide receivers have all been hurt. Their running backs are okay. Sanders does okay. The rest of them kind of don't do shit. They kind of been.
Well, that I also was thinking the game would. They got their wide receivers back that week. Jordan Howard was out, so that's why I played Jay Ajayi. I thought, okay, they'll go up big. They'll bench Sanders for health reasons and just let Jay Ajayi run out the clock. Maybe he falls into the end zone, but was not expecting a shootout at all. So that's what killed me.
It ended up being a fun game
like that.
It
was a great game to watch,
but
yeah.
No, my weakness, I still, again, why I picked you, I think my weakness being my quarterback and my defense, that weakness affects you also. So I'm hoping that kind of, counteracts, and that your two weaknesses or whatever, like I said, they're going against the 49ers D, which that's the other thing is if you're two shit the bed and my quarterback shit the bed, maybe my defense gets 35 points. You know what I'm saying? If Breeze only gets 10 or 8 because he sucked, but my defense picks up 10 or 12 because of that. And if I can get 30 to 40 points out of my D and quarterback and Breeze combined, I would be ecstatic,
But also that would keep me under 10 for my guys.
Right. If Breeze,
that happened.
Yeah. If Breeze had 10 points and that was because of interceptions and shit, and my defense gets those points, I kind of can recoup a little bit, I hope.
Yeah,
So,
for sure. And I won't be able to recover as well.
So again, one of the other factors of why I picked you. So
Yeah.
you know what, Megal, this was your first time to pick somebody. Was it as exciting? Last night, I think you were worried, like you were going to need hours to make the decision. Did you pretty much know ahead of time? I think you kind of described it. You thought you knew what you're going to do, but you never know.
I had ideas. Honestly, I didn't. I had my ideas of who I wanted to pick and where I wanted to be and who I didn't want to play. I was more worried about, Brody. Pretty sure he was going to TJ. So that left you all day to figure out who you wanted. That was my whole thing that I was thinking. But then again, like you said, just write down, who you think you would take. And then I started going through it. Yeah, I spent some time on it today. Thank God. Like I said, I didn't go to work today and I was sick and I just laid here and looked at my phone all day and went over more stuff in fantasy than I've gone over in 3 years.
So
today.
Joey and Stoss had to do your work.
Yeah.
Question.
Yeah.
If I hadn't made the trades that I did, would you have picked me, Mark?
I mean, obviously that's hard to say because I probably, to be honest, if TJ had gone Clay or Zach, or Brody had gone Clay or Zach, I might have picked TJ only to keep Megal and Clay maybe in the higher bracket and me to get the lower bracket. So I don't think, to be honest, Jim, I really think your team's the way it is right now. I don't think I would have picked it really in any combination.
The hell was that?
A dog, sound like a dog shaking her collar.
Oh.
But you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, that was Cooper.
If TJ or if Brody had picked someone other than TJ, then my decision probably then would have been TJ, and then I'd have hoped Clay and Megal ended up on a bracket with the others. So, because I knew if I did the way it pulled out, I knew if I got Clay, the odds are I knew then as soon as I picked Clay, I knew that then as soon as Brody picked TJ, I knew all three good teams were going to be in my bracket, and that kind of sucked. Obviously the only way I could have maybe prevented that was to pick you or Zach, but that didn't mean Meg or somebody else wouldn't have picked Clay and brought him down anyway. So I figured I might as well take the best matchup and for me this week. And Jim, you were not in the mix. To be honest, it wasn't. It was going to be pretty much for me. Because I knew Brody. I think me and Zach, most everyone I've talked to knew Brody was picking TJ. Brody's a pussy and he only cares about winning this week. And it doesn't look any more forward than that. So now I'm not saying that's wrong. There's a lot of people say, hey, just win this week and worry about next week. That is some fantasy people's philosophy. So I'm not going to say he did it wrong, but I figured he'd pick TJ. So it really came down to, at that point, probably Clay or Zach. And Zach has a better matchup than Clay. And I just thought my weaknesses played against Clay's weaknesses, and I'm willing to take that gamble. And again, you guys say that. Will I be pissed if I lose? Yeah, but I'd be pissed if I lost to any of you. And will I be pissed because I picked Clay and I lost to him? And if I'd have picked Zach, I'd have won. I don't look at it. I don't do that. Meaning Brody will. TJ beats him. Brody will go, I knew I should have taken Zach. Zach's only scored 108 points. I'd have kicked his ass. Instead, I picked TJ. I don't know why I did that. Well, do you think about it? Sure, but I don't live by. My chips are on the table now. It's me versus Clay. I either win or I lose. So I'm fine with that.
I've got really good matchups this week. So,
I know that was part of the reason.
After the trade deadline, I at least
the only other person I'd have gone
the trade deadline, I at least feel like my team has a chance.
My only option, I would have if Brody would have picked Zach or Clay, I would have taken TJ, or then I would have taken TJ. Only because it would have made my side of the bracket easier. So,
I would have taken TJ if he was passed down that far.
TJ's matchups don't even matter. His team's so bad. He can have shitty matchups and maybe still not score 120 points. So, and I think that's the way Brody just wants to win this week, which is fine. And he might. Obviously, who he plays the next week won't matter.
I think Brody got lucky. Brody got lucky how it all fell out because that side of the bracket is definitely significantly easier than.
Well, but where I think he
ours.
loses though is he's definitely going to have to play a very good team in the Super Bowl. If any of us
Yeah.
four come out of, if the four of us on our bracket come out of it, really Brody's the best team we'd have to play. I'm not saying Jim either, but you know what I'm saying. I mean, Brody's the highest seed, obviously, but our bracket's going to be
I
fun.
still think. I mean, if I looked at Ben's Super Bowl matchup is awful. I mean, it's nothing but top 5 defenses all the way. But his
next two, yeah,
his week 2 is probably the easiest you could get. So I honestly think one of us is going to play Ben in the Super Bowl, and I think that might be a fucking landslide game. I don't even know if that would be close.
That's what I looked at. It's just he's got a scary matchup with who the Browns play.
And again, it all comes down to the Browns by far. So,
but if you got 2 shitty teams you're playing against, and you put up 110 points between 3 players, shit.
Oh, I know, right? Ben has scored over 200 a couple times, but that's
I know. I looked at it today.
Luckily, he doesn't have Landry also.
Yeah.
Landry's actually been doing better than Odell Beckham.
He should have traded Beckham for Landry for Beckham.
If Baker doesn't play, I think he's fucked.
Baker,
Baker doesn't play. He's done.
I watched a bunch of it today and read a bunch of that shit today. They're just keeping him out of a couple things, and they said he's definitely playing.
Yeah, I think Baker.
Yeah, but I mean, you get sandwiched between 2 guys in the next game, or stub your finger again. I mean, that
can happen to anybody.
Yeah, I don't worry about once they decide they're playing as quarterback.
Is it a throwing hand?
Yeah.
Well, he already can't throw with a good hand. So
right.
The only thing that makes me feel kind of good is that it is the Browns, and at any point,
Freddie Kitchens is going to win you this week.
Right. If he had 3 Patriots, that'd be a lot different thing.
They suck ass too.
I'm just trying to get under Jim a little bit. That's all.
The Patriots are like TJ right now.
I know.
That's because TJ is banking on the Patriots defense.
I have Tom Brady. Tom Brady has 2 good matchups for me the next 2 weeks. But even in a shitty matchup this week, he still ended up getting me almost 30-some points because he had a great fourth quarter. That's what's good about Brady. They can suck all game, but somehow he'll seem to get 2 or 3 touchdowns in the last 10 minutes. So, that can be huge for me. I don't have a problem with Brady. And like I said, I think having Breeze scary, but like I said, if Breeze has a bad game, the odds are Thomas has a bad game because that's the only person he throws to. So if Breeze throws for 160 yards, I guess if all 160 go to Thomas, but then if that happens,
typically what happens.
But if that happens, then Kamara doesn't get as many. I mean, I don't know. I mean, obviously it could backfire on me, but because if that happens, then Breeze will suck and my defense will suck. But again, if the 2 of them get me even 20 points, obviously I'm relying on Henry and Fournette have great matchups. So that's obviously, my 2 main cogs this week. I need them both to get me like 30-some points each. Because I think now to win and get close at 200, you have to have that couple of players in those 30, 35 point range. Jim, do you have anybody on your team that's going to get you 35 points this week?
Probably not. Honestly, I don't think I've scored 200 points one time this year.
I think you beat me with like 189 or something in week 1. I don't know if that was one of your highest weeks or not. I scored like 167. You had like 180, I think 189, but
I don't think I've ever topped 200.
Yeah. Well,
I can find out real quick. Hold on.
The good thing is you're in a bracket where just under 200 could win you that bracket. I don't think TJ is going to get over 200 anymore.
Yeah. And, it's funny looking back at my schedule where I went on these streaks. So I beat you week 1, but then I lost 5 in a row, all to teams that are currently in the playoffs. Then I proceeded to beat 5 teams in a row that are not
in the
playoffs, minus Zach. And that's it.
Me. You beat me.
Well, at that point, the win streak had ended the mark.
Oh, gotcha.
Right. So, all right. It'll be fun. I'm going to have to roll. We've been on for an hour and a half. I'm excited. Like I said, keep everybody up to date on what we decide to do on Sunday, or like I said, at a minimum, my house is open to anybody. And the game, like I said, I can have 6 games on at one time, plus the Red Zone channel. So, I've got it set up that way, so you can kind of watch what game you want, or you can watch the Red Zone or Zach was right. When you first sit down at my house, now Magel wasn't quite the same because by the time Magel came to the house the other night, only 2 games were on because he came in the evening. But when you first sit down at 1:00 and you go, what the fuck am I looking at? Because you have to stop and go, wait a minute, there's 6 different games. Then you have the red zone, and the red zone's what we listen to because they let you know, something breaks big. It's like being at B-dubs and you look up that wall and you go, what the fuck game are we watching? So, but you know, again, it will be open. I'll be here at some point, and hopefully my goal is to be here, like I said, by 1:00 for sure. And I'll text it out. If I know for a fact 100% I'm going to be here before 1, I'll let everybody know, hey, I'm here. TVs are up and running. Anybody wants to show up, that's fine. If you guys are at Magel's, then I'll probably come over there for an hour or 2 and then come back to be with Kim's dad, or vice versa. Maybe I'll come for the second half games or whatever. So, I just want to see a baby be born. I mean, that's all. Are we doing it right in the basement? Are we having
yeah, we got a tub and everything ready to go.
There you go. All right. So, all right, guys, good
Yeah.
luck. Good luck, everybody. Even you, Clay. I do wish Clay luck because it's going to take luck.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all.
Thank you. I just want I want good matchups. I want good games. I really don't want to see a blowout because that's no fun in the playoffs. Like, I want to see good competition.
I've had both. I've blown out people. And I've got blown out, and I've been in tough games, and the tough games are the hard ones. I guess I'm kind of, like I said, I will have Barkley on Monday. I was hoping. I hate Mondays suck for me. Monday bad luck for me always seems to be an issue.
That's
I think, I got this made, and then all of a sudden, I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna lose. Or I have lost on last plays on Monday nights 2 or 3 different times. Weird plays or fumbles, stupid shit, and it's like. So I'm hoping it doesn't come down to Monday, Clay. But
yeah,
you know,
I feel like my 4:00 games are always shit. I don't know why, but if I need to have a good game at 1:00, and if not, my 4:00 games, I think my players are just sleeping.
Right, they're sleeping in. Like,
Yeah.
I know, I hate that. All right, guys, thanks for coming on tonight. Good luck, everybody.
Bye.
Later.
Yep. Bye.